Roxanne Stiordia, and coming up, more action from the PartyPoker.com European Open 3. 72 players from around the globe are all chasing the same dream. A $125,000 check, plus the title and trophy that will show the world they're a European champ.
Welcome to the PartyPoker.com European Open 3. I'm Jesse May, joined by Swedish poker legend Ken Leonard. Now, Ken, you were at this table playing last week, but it all went wrong.
Yeah, it was just one of those days. No cards, no hitting the flops and making the wrong move. Well, maybe the right move, but
at the wrong time.
Yeah, it was the wrong move as it turned out.
I mean, some days you just go to the office and you get sent home.
Yeah. And that's important. When you don't have a good day, just stop playing and do something else.
Well, this week we got a new lineup in here. Anybody you know on this table this week?
Yeah, Liam Flood, the gentleman. He's an old friend of mine, and he's a great guy and an even better poker player. He's the favorite today, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about Liam Flood, you know, you think about, you got playing poker on when there was very little poker on TV, and he knows this format intimately, doesn't he?
Yes, he's a very experienced player, and he can put the fear in the rest of the table. He knows exactly what to do.
It is a couple of Irishmen on the table today, but let's just check in with Roxanne to review how this tournament works.
We have 12 heats with 6 players in each heat. Only one winner from each table will move on to the semifinals. In those semis, 2 tables with the top 3 players will take their chips on to the final table. $360,000 prize pool and $125,000 going to the winner. So now that you know the format of the tournament, let's see who will be at the table tonight.
On offer will be Cambridgeshire business owner Tim Blake. From the Bridge Club, Northern Irishman Shane Harker. The Machine, Bridgenorth's best, Graham Smith. Another Belfast boy, it's Paul Scullion. The gentleman himself, poker's forefather, Liam Flood. And from the Aces Club in Spain, Spencer Carrington.
It's an exciting lineup that promises much. So let's get the action underway.
Moving on up from the east side all the way to the deluxe poker table of this PartyPoker.com European Open 3. 6 feisty tempers here. An even split of Irishmen and Englishmen at this table, 3 by 3. Leading that English charge will be there, Graham Smith, the Machine, who has very good form in these events. Although Liam Flood, the wily Dubliner from Maynooth, is probably the nominal favorite. And there is Spencer Carrington, the man they call Sportsman Spain, who's actually had some good results. Blinds are starting at 1 and 2. The chips you see there, each player getting 100,000 starting stack. The yellow is worth 1,000. The blues are 2. The reds 5K apiece. You must get every chip of the 600,000 in play to make it to that semi-final stage. Graham the Machine, last time he played on television, very unlucky going out against Tony Bloom. You know, Tony's a very good player. Graham's
Raised to 6,000.
fancies himself in this format. It's understandable why. First hand, first action, 2-8, 6,000 from Smith. Standard player, could you have seen him limp in here?
I could see him limp, but I guess it's standard play. You probably won't get any action unless some other has a good hand, because it's the first hand. People like to get warm in their clothes before they start playing.
Looks like a couple of ducks on the pond here. Spencer's announced call.
Pass.
Spencer qualified into this tournament through a 35 euro satellite over at the Aces Poker Club on the Costa del Sol. It does look like he's been getting some sun of late.
This is an interesting flop. Nobody hits overcards. Who's gonna take this pot away? That's the question.
Check.
Who's got the balls to do that?
Has Smith knuckled it here, or is it reasonable to assume that the eights are in trouble with the
It's
ace on
reasonable
board?
to check.
The problem Graham Smith is going to have right now is that he does not have a club in his hand.
6,000.
But he's won the pot
Pass.
there. Spencer, I guess reasoning that Graham was liable to have flopped a big hand and checked it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind checking one more time, but you know, as it were, he did the right thing.
Early chip leader is Graham the Machine Smith, who just recently had a baby, new baby boy named Billy. And you find with a lot of athletes, they have this thing called the baby bounce, Ken. Have you heard about it?
No.
When you have your first son, golfers and athletes, they always have a great season. So Graham might be feeling kind of good right now.
Pass.
I think Phil Mickelson's biggest year was after he had a baby boy.
Yeah.
And,
I think that because having a child is like the greatest thing you can
Raise.
do or have, so they feel good about it and feel like
6,000
I did this, Merca, so I don't care about this. I can relax and play poker.
I know, and poor Liam Flood's a bachelor. I don't know, but he's got
Start
good
fold.
form anyway.
Pass.
The raise from Liam with the ace-8 suited, and
Pass.
Tim Blake on the button just calling with the 2 9s. I feel like people like to see more flops in this first level, Ken.
Yeah, and that's good news for us because it's more entertaining.
All black, but it's all clubs, and Liam has spades.
Check. Check.
And very careful checking here.
You know the postman? Liam is like the
5,000.
postman. He never
Never
checks
checks
twice.
twice. Like in the early
5,000.
days.
He never checked
Pass.
once.
Right.
See? The aggressiveness wins the pot.
Wow.
Liam steals another one.
Irishman Liam Flood was a superstar in this game before they even had TVs, but now he's made a big name in this format as well, but still chasing that huge TV title. Do you feel like in this format, Ken, that you have to get action on your good hands somehow because you don't have enough of them?
You have to get paid. That's really important in this format. So and obviously try to avoid having really good hands against even better hand. But getting
Pass.
paid is one of the key factors in this
Pass.
format for sure.
Graham
Raise
Smith,
to 8,000
well
total.
capable of making his own arrangements.
I don't like this race. It's just
Pass.
too wild and crazy.
Too early.
Yeah, too early and too bad. With the 8-6 of clubs, maybe, but not deuce 8 of clubs.
Do you think maybe Smith is just kind of testing his table image?
Oh, I think the machine is broken.
The machine is a bit nutty, isn't he?
Pass.
Will he get this through? I mean, at the end of the day, Ken, he's putting in 8,000 to pick up 3,000, but
That can never be
Pass.
good. But it was this time.
the Smith is... Well, the machine, he is one of those guys who just... He feels like he always has to be increasing his stack. I mean, he's always on the road. He's not going to limp away silently, is he?
Hey, he was suited.
Here's a rundown on how to play Texas Hold'em. The game begins with each player being dealt 2 cards face down from the dealer. These are personal cards or whole cards. Players must first make a betting decision based on the value of those 2 cards alone. Now here's what you can do. You can call or match the money already in the pot. You can raise or put more money into the pot, or you can fold and get right out of there. Because it's no limit, players of course can always go all in or put all their money into the pot. Once all players remaining have put the same amount of money into the pot, here comes the flop. These 3 cards are community cards. There's another round of betting after the flop, and if no one before you has bet, you can check. That means no bet. The 4th card, or the turn, is dealt, and there's another round of betting before the river, or the final community card, is dealt. Another betting round, and when the betting is done, we see who's won. Players can win the pot by either showing the best 5-card poker hand, or if everyone else folds, you win the pot, no matter what you had.
Raise to 6,000 total.
Here comes Paul Scullion. This is the first forward motion he's had towards the pot. And
Liam is getting all these almost playable hands in position, but he's
Pass.
behaving. Oh, Liam is behaving.
Pass.
he really has put his screws down today so far.
Oh, look at
this
this,
flood.
look at this.
We raise
Pocket Kings, Cowboys for Blake.
to 15,000 total.
It's sort of a mini re-raise. 6,000 has become 15. And
Pass.
I kind of have trouble seeing Scullion not peeling off the flop here.
Yeah, I would be inclined to pay 9,000 to try to flop a set. Because you really gotta put Blake on a big hand. His hands were shaking when he put the chips in the middle. So you know if you flop a set and get lucky, you're gonna get paid all the way. And if you flop a set, you're gonna play it fast. Then there's no escape for Blake.
Here comes the flop. Blake doesn't know what he doesn't want to see, but it is the devilish 6, and it has missed the board.
This is very interesting. Both
Check.
Graham Smith and Liam Flood had
Check.
Queen Jack. And they would have
That's
both flopped a
hysterical.
full house.
They're both looking very
Look
sick.
at Liam. Why didn't I take the flop? Look
I'm
at
not sure
Graham.
who's sicker.
It's amazing. They finally fold a hand and they would have both flopped a full house.
Now, it went check on the
15,000.
flop, and now Scullion is having a pop at it. What was Blake doing by checking that
Raise.
flop?
I don't know. I guess he was slow playing.
15,000 more 30 total.
If he was trying to induce a bluff, that's exactly what he's done here. Although I think Scullion was kind of betting for value.
Yeah, I think there was nothing wrong with that bet. But now, you know, it's all over. So he got another 15,000 Blake
Nice.
by slow playing on the flop.
Well done for Tim Blake, and Liam Flood is sicker than Graham Smith. He was the first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I had a jack.
Now Liam feels even worse when Graham said he had a queen.
Hangs on.
I've been going home. There must be 6 jacks in the back here.
Figured that.
So you had Queen Jack? I had Queen Jack too. Yeah, sure you did.
This can be a dangerous game. Some leave with a broken heart, others with a pocket full of cash. Who'll be on top of the world tonight? We'll find out after the break. Welcome back to the PartyPoker.com European Open 3. Who will take this heat by storm and bolt into the semifinal? We go back over to Jessie May and Ken Leonard.
Thanks, Roxanne. 6 Jack and Jills still marching up this hill, but only one pail of water at the top.
You're a fast learner.
Pass.
Raise.
Raise. 6,000 total. Call. Pass. Pass.
Raise has come from
Pass.
Liam Flood, and a flat call from Spencer Carrington with ace-king suited.
Let's do me
He's
again.
very tricky, this
Last time I
Spencer
won.
Carrington.
Must be your
I
time.
think it's just conservative pre-flop.
That may be
7.
it.
7,000.
Yeah, Flood got him off.
I would never fold ace king in this position.
Pass.
Wow.
Yeah, he's just plain conservative.
Close, was it? Not in the flop. No.
Liam Flood, highly respected in the poker world and well positioned to take advantage of how others see him.
Table image. Let me tell you a little secret about table image. It's not quite as important to the great players who can basically have their way with the table. But for most players, table image is extremely important. If you're folding a lot of hands and playing a good patient game, then you're setting the table up so that you can make some bluffs later. You're going to need those bluffs to survive. If you're playing really fast and too many hands, you're not going to be able to bluff as much, but you're going to get more action when you do have a strong hand. Personally, I like to play a very patient game, especially because, you know, I mean, the way the blinds start in the beginning, it suits that. And then I like to surprise them with some fast play right near the end, and usually it puts them off. They don't know what to do. So table image, start tight, and end loose.
Have you ever dreamt of playing poker with the big boys in Las Vegas? Well, here's your chance. You could win a holiday for two, including flights, accommodation, and £500 spending money. All you have to do is answer this question. Who won the World Series of Poker in 2006? A. Phil Hellmuth, B. Jamie Gold, or C. Gus Hansen? You can enter by going to www.5.tv/poker. Entrants must be over 18. Competition closes at midnight on the 22nd of May.
Back down to war being waged. The problem with guys like Graham Smith and Liam Flood is obviously if they pick up big hands, they're going to get action. But you have to give them action when you pick up those aces and stuff, right? You have to stick it back to them.
Absolutely.
7,000 total.
They force people out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. They just wear them down with their races and bettings all the way.
Blake
Pass.
stepping out from the behind the button with the Queen 5 suited.
Pass.
The machine hasn't won a putt for like 8 hands, so he's a grumpy man now. Expect a big bluff from him anytime soon.
5,000 on Scullion, who got eaten up by Blake earlier.
Go.
But
So a pretty wild race there by Blake with a Queen 5. I'm surprised. I didn't know he had it in him.
15,000 in the pot, and if Scullion hits his ace in the big blind, you wonder how he'll rate it. As it turns out, the ace-8 is good right now, but this is kind of Blake's pot, isn't it?
He might call this with an
9,000.
ace high. Good solid bet by Blake. This is not an easy call.
Scullion's a Belfast man. Here qualifying from the winner's club up that way. This is good stuff. Oh, his hands are shaking though.
Yeah. He figures Blake he didn't hit the flop, and I might have the best hand. And even if I don't, he might fold. This is a good solid check raise.
It's very gutsy stuff. He's just stuck. It's not a small check raise. He's just stuck a quarter of his stack in. 25,000 total. And
this pot is over.
I mean, was there any way that Scullion could get any information that he didn't think Blake had a hand, or was it just a complete stab in the dark?
It was a stab in the dark, but he read the flop perfectly. It was 7-3 deuce. I mean, what could Blake really have?
The Irishman has something to say right now. Little smile. That's the way to play.
See what happens when you win a pot. Stop the clock. You know that?
That'll teach you racing my big blind.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that'll definitely happen. Tell you what. Talk about a rush of blood to the head. Blake just did a few chips, but it is Liam Flood who's kind of running over this table. Look at Harker's betting frequency. Still in the first level here. The game has been very fast, and there's been a lot of action, Ken. 16 hands, and there's still a couple of hands left in this level.
Jesse, you and I, we are two genius. We predicted fast play with the machine and Liam Flood, and we were absolutely right.
I wish you get paid extra for that.
We actually should get paid extra for that.
I mean, all we have to do is talk. No one ever said we had to be right.
Pass.
Fold it around here to Harker. And from what we've seen of Harker, would you be surprised to see him fold this?
Yes.
If I can get rid of you, then I'm in position.
6.
He's not folding it.
That's very common.
Graham Smith's starting to chafe a little bit. They haven't let him raise a pot for about one round.
He could easily check, I mean, re-raise here.
And it's lucky.
He really wants to play.
Yeah.
Well, when he's on the button, he considered the small blind and the big blind his blind. So raising is like picking on him in his big blind. So he's offended now.
No?
You're right. That is my button, says the machine, Graham Smith. I mean, to a raise, King 9 is generally considered a complete piece of sausage.
Absolutely, but, you know, he won't let anyone steal his blinds.
Okay, I'll pass. That's the way you feel about it.
Flood the big blind. Flop to come. I mean, as it turns out, the King High is leading right now. But
he doesn't care. He just doesn't let anyone steal his blinds.
And do you think,
Check.
Check.
I was going to say, Smith
Check.
capable of making a move here?
Near you.
Oh, you got it.
Check.
Beautiful
Check.
check. You know he's gonna bet it. You just know he's gonna bet it. It's a beautiful queen for Harker.
Yeah, Harker's played this very cagey.
Come out, let's up a minute, ain't you?
7.
No, I'm just going to flat call you.
Call.
That's even worse, says Graham Smith. Now I might have to bluff the river.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's great.
Check.
And is this a bit unfortunate for Harker, or has he made a mistake by not check raising?
Obviously, it's unfortunate. He's only a 3-outer,
7.
but
You may have just got lucky there on the end.
You know I have.
Well, I may just pay you just in case.
Another one.
Another one.
Yellow.
Actually, I'll
Trying
give
to
you that
get
one.
Wow.
in cheap.
Call.
Both these guys
the
called it
backs.
right.
Let's have a look, lads.
Yeah.
I'm calling him.
I don't want him exposing
Come on. Let's see it.
you're called. Please show the hand.
Yeah, he'll have to.
See you spanners. Is that
Not
the high
gonna feel
card?
bad about it.
Yeah.
Oh, you got lucky at the
Yeah,
end.
he did indeed. Right on the end.
Have you been
It's not
bitten
what I
by the
wanted to
poker
say.
bug? Roxanne is here to tell you how to get
So
involved.
that's what you mean, right?
You can find out more about poker by logging onto our website, www.5.tv/poker. Learn the rules, figure out the best hands to play, and test bluffing skills. You can also download video interviews with some of the game's best players.
We see maybe some tempers rising a little bit. That's always good for the
Pass.
game if you're a guy watching it. You know, it's always
Absolutely.
more fun. You don't want to see people yawning and bored.
Oh, you want to see the machine slow rolling in and needling the other players. You show, but
You gotta see
Raise to 8.
conflict.
Pass.
You haven't used 9 yet. Use 6, 7, and 8.
Liam's got some chips now. He might consider a call here.
It's a big weapon. I mean, you know, he's only got 30 or 40,000 more than Graham Smith, but that's a huge gambling tank, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I'll pass.
I mean,
Pass.
that 30,000 allow him to pick up 60 or
Call.
70,000 extra. And it must be freezing cold in there. Everybody's shaking.
Maybe it's the
Pass.
gentleman sending cold shivers down their spines.
This is something like the third or fourth time we've seen Carrington call before the flop with a hand some people would have passed or raised with.
But I like it when he called against Graham because he knows the machine's gonna bluff away some chips.
Yeah, he was very successful with the pocket aces in a similar spot earlier, and he check raised. This time he's got top pair,
8.
and he's leading out.
Ah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. He changed
variation,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah. So Graham said, "Oh, you checked raised me before. Now I think you're weak. I might raise you with my bottom pair."
I think it's going to be very hard for Smith not to fall into this trap.
Yeah.
I think Carrington's got him.
Raise to 20.
Yeah, he's
Raise all in.
8, raise to 20, quick re-raise all in from Spencer Carrington. That's strength. That's tough.
yeah. He played it brilliantly, bleeding out, and the machine just stepped right in it and re-raised. And but now, well, he can't really call now.
I mean, this is a very high level of competition here.
You can.
I says I did.
Oh, you did? All right. But did you get the right answer?
I'll tell you, I did have one prediction before this heat began, and that was that the first pot the big pot that Liam Flood wasn't in, he was going to be involved in anyway.
I didn't like the answer.
It's a good fold there by Graham Smith.
Well, it's pretty easy fold,
Yeah.
isn't
Think
it?
so?
Yeah. There's not a lot of drawing hands out there. Usually people do that
the end of the
with a
level.
flush draw, so you know
Oh,
his
that
beat
was
with
it.
bottom
Alright.
pair.
Take right on me.
A cool rider is Spencer Carrington, now owner of a poker club in Malaga. But he's a pretty fine player himself, cashing in at the main event of the World Series. Lines are up to 2,000 and 4,000, but, you know, Ken, this is one heat out of all the ones that I just kind of feel like if the blind stayed at 1 in 2,000 forever, the game would still get over and done with in fine fashion.
I think you're right, Jesse.
I mean, and Graham Smith, look at that face. He's gotten scowlish.
He's not smiling and jiggling anymore.
I don't think he's thinking to himself how fortunate he is just to having had a new son right now. I think his mind is on the game.
Yes, minimum raise. Brilliant says postmate with his pair. Cheap.
Yeah, Scullion's just called here.
Very suspicious.
I'd say there's a problem right now, Ken, which is that these guys know that Graham Smith could be raising with anything, but at the same time, he's liable to just get all the chips in, and
that's the problem. You know, he's like a wounded predator. You don't want to get messed up because you know he's liable to put all the chips in the middle.
Right. A cornered lion right now, and it's only 4,000 on Harker.
Yeah, folding here is a big mistake. He's just too good pot odds to say no to it.
And I guess he's got those implied odds that if for somehow he flops the nuts, he may get on for everything.
Absolutely. That's a speculative hand, 9-8. I mean, it's easy to get away from, but you can get paid handsomely if you hit it. I think that's a mistake to fold. He can afford 4,000 to see a flop.
Yeah. What if it comes 6, 7, 10 for crying out loud?
Ooh, look at this.
This is the second time.
This is the time to slow play, Mr. Smith.
Check. Check.
Good check there behind Smith by Scullion. If it comes the ace or a heart, the machine may get caught in a cog.
Maybe even a 10.
And we have not seen the machine check twice, once this evening. He's trapped here, isn't he?
8.
Yeah. It's perfect just call here. Let me see my hand. What did I have? Oh yeah, I had a set. I forgot.
Well, I mean, you know, obviously if Scullion knew what Smith had, he'd check here because Graham's drawing dead. But there are a couple of draws out there, aren't there?
There is.
$21. Raise to 21.
The raise is only 13,000. And I feel like Graham Smith's got a problem in that he's very suspicious that someone is trying to bluff him.
Yeah, because this is the way he would bluff and try to steal the pot away.
What kind of indication should the machine get from the fact that it's a very small raise?
That it's either a very good hand or a very bad hand.
That's bad. That doesn't help.
Well, yeah, he can beat a very bad hand, but he can't beat a very good hand. I mean, he could, put Smith Scullion on a hand like 9-10 or 7-9, so picked up of a draw with 8.
Fold.
The machine does the right thing.
He took his time about it. Maybe he let Scullion sweat, but right now the only guy in for trouble is Graham the Machine, who's trying to gather strength from within here. It's still a full field of trick-or-treaters, but who's knocking at the door? We'll see on the other side. Welcome back. We're still a full table of 6 here at the PartyPoker.com European Open. You know, Ken, we've seen, of course, every card that everyone has played, but
Yes.
I would say there's 4 or 5 guys at this table who haven't turned cards over yet.
8 would be the...
Yeah, that's usually an indication of good play when people don't show hands, when there's no showdowns.
Yellow one.
Because then it's play all the way.
Where are you from? You know the difference between 1 and 2?
No. It's only a chip.
This is the 3rd hand on the trot, Ken, that Harker has raised.
Well,
Pass.
he flopped top pair both times, so why not? Oh, Liam's gonna play this hand, I promise you that.
Well, it was a minimum raise, and Flood's in the big blind. He's going to peel off the flop. Irishman on Irishman here. And the flop is better.
Check.
For Harker, perhaps. Flush draw and bottom pair?
Yeah, but I think Flood is the favorite here.
Nine.
No, it
9.
was close.
It's very close.
Call.
And I'll tell you what, if either of these guys puts their foot on the gas, the chips are going in.
Absolutely.
That card.
Check.
Oh, pardon me. I thought
Check.
I thought Harker had a flush draw. He doesn't.
No. But it's got a 3 of a kind.
He does. He's just gotten out of trouble.
11.
Do I have to pay you again, then?
Huh.
The moaning call with the 3 of a kind.
3 9s.
I know. What's this? Jesus.
Why did Harker just call the river there? Too many hands that could beat him, Ken?
Exactly this. He's especially afraid of the flush draw, but there's also possible straights out there.
1 change.
1. He said 11.
And he's got suspicious because Liam was playing it slow.
From first to worst to first again, Flood. That is the first setback he's had tonight. And he's sitting there trying to think if he could have won that pot. Could he have?
Yes.
Pretty lucky.
Could have check raised on the flop. The machine is talking to himself now. Gotta get chips, gotta get chips. I need chips, I want chips, I gotta get chips.
He does. He's chafing a little bit under the bit right now.
I would be thinking
Pass.
twice about raising his big blind.
Not much of a hand. Poor Flood.
Call.
Call.
And Ken, this is just completely out of character.
Yeah, but it's good to do once in a while because now the other guys has to put Liam Flood on aces.
Pass. Pass.
I'm putting him on a brain freeze right now. There's something have to do with the fact where you said I'd be very careful about raising the machine's big blind right now, but at the same time Flood wants to play a pot with him?
Yeah,
Check.
because you can get paid because you know he's liable to put all the chips in the middle first time he gets, so that's probably why Liam only called.
Check.
Check.
12,000 up for grabs.
Check.
7.
7.
Good call there, Ken. This will end it, I imagine. Or is Harker saying, never would have called with an ace?
That's what he's thinking.
It's a shame when they don't change, isn't it?
Fold.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fold.
Absolutely. We'll have to wait for the TV one to see that one, Liam.
I might be short, is she?
Flag calls me and comes out betting the ace.
There was a 5-6. They put him on 3 aces there, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what I said. When he loses, they put him on aces.
This is how the ranking of the hands work. Bottom of the ladder is high card only. Higher than that is 1 pair. Above that on the ladder is 2 pairs. If 2 players have 2 pairs, it's the higher pair that counts. 3 of a kind is often called a set. A straight is 5 cards in a row of any suits. Aces play high or low in straights. A flush, 5 cards of the same suit in any order. A full house is 3 of a kind plus a pair, and everyone's looking for that 4 of a kind. It's self-explanatory, but rare as a diamond. A straight flush is 5 cards in a row, all the same suit, and top of the pops is a royal flush, which is a straight flush, ace high.
They can be good sometimes.
Yeah. Så höll min tid.
It's Carrington. Chip leader. And I feel like he's very unpredictable, this Spencer. But he maybe have the benefit of positioning cards right now.
Only 2, I think.
Pass. Pass.
Ooh, big hand here for Harker. Okay, for the number of pots that Harker has been
Where's
involved
8?
in, you have trouble believing this is the best hand he's seen so far, but it is.
Pass.
True. By far.
Yeah. And he's only made a minimum of...
Oh, look at this.
Yay.
3 old gentlemen. Spells trouble for Harker.
As they say in Dublin,
16.
oy vey.
He might re-raise
raised
all
to
in here
16.
with ace queen.
9-6 again.
No.
We've already seen one test of Harker's
I'm all in.
character.
Yeah.
This was too tough for him to get away from, wasn't it? He just could not believe, and as he pushes the chips in now, he knows that he is hanging on a thread.
He needs to outflop the opponent again, otherwise it's arrivederci.
Huge news for Liam Flood. And the problem for Harker, besides the fact that he's drawing thin, is that Carrington folded an ace. We got 2 in the deck right now. And, I think, I'm not sure, but I think Liam Flood slightly covers Harker, which means he needs to hit a queen or ace right now, or he'll be out of this heat.
Anyway.
And bad news here. You can kind of see that if Harker had decided to just call before the flop, the money would have all gone into the flop
that's
anyway. Which
His last chance now.
river card.
No.
Ba-boom.
Sayonara, Shane.
I think you're winning him anyway.
No, I think
Harker
I think you've me covered.
qualifying from the Bridge Club, and it's back there to Baines Bridge in Northern Ireland, I believe. There's a little countdown here, Ken.
Well, he gave us good struggling and a good fight, and he put on a good show, and he shouldn't be too disappointed.
No, no. All right, well, next meeting. All right,
Shane Harker is going to be out of this tournament, out in 6th.
Right, Liam.
And he's a classic guy.
All right, good luck.
You can tell your dad.
Oh, well, he'll see that one anyway.
5-way leaderboard. Liam Flood has won the most pots. He has the most chips. Is he unstoppable?
Look at the hands won. He's just dominating this table. And the one who would like to fight back, he got no chips. The Graham Smith in 5th position.
I hadn't realized Graham Smith was so low, but 58,000. The blinds are still 2 and 4. They're going to be 3 and 6 soon. 58,000 doesn't really give him a gambling tank at all, does it?
Yeah, that's true, but I have to give it to him. Everything went wrong, so just stopped playing cards for a couple of rounds. So, I mean, he did the right thing. Now he needs a hand or a pot or anything just to get him going again. But that's the hand. This could be it.
How should Graham Smith play this as far as the pre-flop raise goes?
Standard raise, 3 times the big blind. Maybe 11. Give a little bit discount.
Right.
He's figuring it out right now.
Rise to 16. Pass.
What Smith has gone for is slightly over raise.
Yeah.
And Liam Flood feels like there's an opportunity to take
Ellen?
Graham Smith out of this. As it is, what he's done is given Smith a
Pass.
huge opportunity to double up.
Yeah.
I mean, Smith may be giving a hard look to Liam, but he's doing butterflies inside. Jumping jacks. He loves it.
Call. On their back.
Oh, he's an actor.
He's a
Shaking
bit of
his
an
head.
actor.
You raise me. Don't you know I have ace king? I mean, yeah. He got it all backwards. You act before the chips get in, not afterwards. It's ridiculous.
Smith, a chance to get right back in this. As far as the viewers are concerned, a double up by Smith will make this a very interesting heat from here. If Flood is to win this pot and knock Smith out, you can nearly write out the check.
Yeah, and Scullion had a jack, so he don't have a big chance of it. But now it's almost over.
Almost a miracle alone to take Smith out. And now he's drawing dead. And as far as the machine is concerned, big hand here, 3 kings. As far as the heat is concerned, I feel like this is going to up the excitement level.
Yeah, the heat is going up in the room.
Ken, was there anything that the machine did to induce that play, or was it pretty much automatic the chips were going in because of the cards?
Yeah, I think so. Liam has the chips. He's got to bully the short stacked. He did nothing wrong, and so I think it was just basically the cards.
Yes.
Lines are up, and just in time. Parsley, sage, rosemary here for Graham Smith.
I wouldn't like
3 and 6,000. How is that going to affect the game?
See the baby.
Well, it's bad news for Carrington
looks like Graham.
because he's playing a little bit too conservative for my taste. He needs to step it up, but he might do that, so we'll see. And the machine is smiling again.
Yeah, I mean, this is a funny
now
hand because
6,000 to
you
call.
feel like 2 hands ago the Smith might have folded this hand from this position, but you're going to need a crowbar.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, you're going to need a crowbar
Raise
right
to
now to get it out
15,000
of him.
total. Pass.
And, Lee was thinking to himself, geez, what have I done?
Pass.
Feed the bear. That's demoralizing sometimes.
Sure is.
Now, it's only 9,000 on Tim Blake.
Cool.
Do you
Call.
like that play? I could have seen him do any of 3 things.
No, I like the call. I mean, you can't fold against the machine. Re-racing's a bit too risky and folding a bit too tight.
Perfect flop for Graham.
I don't like king queen without position, but I
Check.
don't think he had any choice here, Blake. Now he is. It's an
Check.
easy fold, so that's good.
This is good stuff by Smith to check as well.
Yeah, he's trying to squeeze out another bet from Blake, and he did it. It looks like he did it.
14,000.
Now, if the machine knew what Blake had, a call would be in order because Blake's drawn dead. But that's a gambling thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, okay, Blake might have a flush draw, but I think it's worth just smooth calling here.
We saw Dennis O'Mahony get into trouble. Smooth calling with 2 pair on the turn here situation. But Blake is drawing dead.
Raised 14,000 more.
And a silent raise. Do you think the machine gets very quiet when he has a big hand?
Timing of a broken
When he
clock.
doesn't have any chips, he gets very quiet.
Timing of a broken clock, says Tim Blake. And he's right there.
At least he's right 2 times per day.
But the machine has picked himself up off the floor and is now ominously close to the chip lead.
Baby doesn't look like it.
You don't want to give a man a second life. And Smith, who was teetering there, is now climbing the hill severely. So you can see Graham now, head bent over the table, watching everything. That's called momentum, and it's one of players' most dangerous when he's got it on his side.
There's no minibar in my room.
That's outrageous. It's in mine.
Spencer Carrington still has nearly par. Tim Blake has slipped away here. Is he in
Pass.
danger of just
Pass.
petering out of this tournament? He's got about 40 grand.
Yeah, but then again, now he needs to wait for a real hand, so he can't do much now. But wait, so
Raised to 16,000 total. Pass.
Very good bet.
Flood choosing to
wow, Queen 9 suited.
Yeah, he was reminding Smith it was his big blind by just providing some background music.
Yeah, pretty good one as well. Maybe he could get a job in an elevator after his
He could
career
get
is
a
over.
job in an elevator, singing the elevator
Oh.
music.
I like this call. Queen 9 suited is a pretty interesting hand in this situation.
Check.
Both players the exact same hand, pairwise, although
Check.
Flood's kicker plays. And, the plot thickens.
He's got a flush draw as well now.
Check.
But it's a split pot right now.
Flood is very careful of sort of aware of the fact that Graham Smith could have aces over kings full
he's
house
got the
right
flush.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
20.
20,000.
I wonder if Flood would call an all-in raise here.
I think he would.
I do too.
He's got
But I
the
do
nut
wonder.
flush.
I'd like.
He wouldn't do it in 1 second. He would think about it for 3 seconds and said, "What's your name, Mr. Machine?" Okay, I call. But this is, I think Smith has to call here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, he played it defensively all the way. I mean, Flood could very well have nothing here, and do have 2 pair.
Yeah, I mean, the way Graham has played this, it was designed to induce a bluff and keep the pot small. That's what
Yeah.
he's done.
So he has to be consistent and call, and he's probably going to do that.
I mean,
If the 7 of hearts was 7 of clubs, I think Flood would have bet 20,000, and Smith has to call. It's just unlucky this one. But you do have to pay the gentleman off, Mr. Machine.
Only, I don't think you've hit it.
Well, you're wrong, Mr. Machine.
I've just got a feeling you haven't.
Cool.
give the gentleman
I think
the
I have a
pot.
flush.
Oh,
I'm not, you know, I'm practically, yeah, I have.
world-class table talk from Leon the Gentleman Flood.
Well, is that some people would consider that a bit of a...
Well, it wasn't. He did it with such grace and style.
I hadn't rechecked. That's why I said I think I have a flush. There's no
Okay.
smartness.
Liam trying to claim that he's old and doddering, but
Yeah.
if you believe
He's always
that...
like, I don't know what I do. I can't see the flop. Blah 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 blah. He's not fooling me. He's
Listen.
probably not fooling you, Jesse.
I mean, Doyle Brunson is about 22 years older than Flood, and he's still capable of winning a World Poker Tour event. I don't think Flood's going anywhere yet. Flood taking a bite out of the machine, and that has provided a bit of separation. Gosh, they both won 11 hands each. But that's Liam's game. He loves to lead from the front. He's an institution in poker.
A late friend of mine, Terry Rogers, he was a bookmaker in Ireland, discovered Nolan Texas Hold'em in America and brought it back to Ireland. And we started playing then. The first Irish Open was in 1984, and I think there was 27 players, and that included some English. So for about 10 years, you know, it was hard graft.
It was a love for the game that got him started, but success was soon to follow.
It would have started in 1984. I won the big tournament in the Isle of Man. There was 32 players, and I was the assistant tournament director, and I said to Terry Rogers, I said, Terry, I should play. Now, I couldn't afford it, but I said, get a few of your pals in and put me in. So they did, and lucky enough I won that tournament. That was a big feather in my cap.
Liam's biggest win to date, probably the runner-up finish in the World Open, but the gentleman also well known on the other side of the table, running some of the biggest tournaments in the world.
It lets you understand both aspects of the game, and that is running it, make sure it's run properly, and playing it, and being of the right attitude to play it, like not to be giving grief to the people who are working, such as the dealers or the tournament director. Well, I think people respect me as a player because my results are fairly good. But they would treat me differently because they know that I know the rules. And I think from that point of view, they respect me as well.
Five still playing in this heat of the PartyPoker.com European Open.
Pass. Pass.
The machine, who has played a little bit conservative
30.
of late from his button. Queen 10 suited, akin to a royal flush. Not against that.
It looks like a re-raise to me.
Saw one Irishman go down in flames with the ace-queen.
Call.
I don't like this call. It's too many chips in the middle. It's 35,000 chips in the middle, and Scullion's got 117. I mean, come on, it's just take the chips.
Pass.
It was time to move all in there. He could very well be punished. But I think he's playing this hand. He's not gonna fold.
He's mentally committed, you're saying, for the rest of his stack.
Otherwise, it makes no sense whatsoever.
Graham Smith looking for a 10. Queen will be a disaster for him. In fact, missing the flop might be a disaster for Graham Smith here.
Because he's gonna bet, and Scullion's gonna check raise him all in.
I wonder what's going through the machine's mind about Scullion's holding here, Ken.
This is actually a really strange to just call without position. He should be very worried.
They've both missed.
Scullion likes his flop. He truly believes he's got the best hand. Will Smith bites. Will he bite?
It's dangerous, isn't it?
Check.
Could Smith have won that?
Oh, look at
wow!
it.
The machine.
Disaster struck.
And is this good fortune for the machine or a mistake from Scullion at the end of the day?
Mistake from Scullion. He was taking a chance, and now it looks like he's gonna lose a lot of chips, or maybe all of his chips. He has no one to blame but himself.
The bet is 30,000, and Graham considering his options.
There's
Good.
a flush draw out there. Put the chips in. If Scullion calls, yeah, that's correct.
Raise all
play.
in.
Yeah. If Scullion's got him beat, good luck to him.
Exactly. It's not so easy to call now. Would have been easier to check raise on the flop. He knows he doesn't have any spades as well.
Machine has made a very clever check on the flop to get there. It was a very interesting hand.
Yep.
And perhaps the Irishman took his foot off the pedal, his eye off the ball, and dished one up to the machine, who all of a sudden is in the driver's seat.
Who also took the foot out of the pedal and took a free card and was rewarded.
Eggs in a carton, dismay on the face of Irishman Paul Scullion, who has gone short stacked here. And Liam Flood even looking a little bit upset, perhaps because Graham Smith now has the chips and the mindset to run ragged over this table.
Yeah, he looks very strong now.
Raise all in.
Scullion decided to save a little bit for the all-in, and he's well served here.
King Jack is a nice hand, but you can't call with it.
No, I mean, guess it's just whether or not he thinks Scullion would have played something really bad.
Pass.
What? Oh yeah, I thought. Yeah, you have to call with eights. Yeah, good.
Call.
I thought Liam.
Liam folded the king jack.
yeah.
Is it automatic? Carrington.
Yes,
what
you
has
have to call it.
Yeah.
Yes. Within a second. I mean, Scullion is desperate. He's gonna do this with so many hands that eights are a solid favorite against.
As it is, not the best result for Carrington. It is a straight race, but it is Scullion all in and trailing. A jack, a queen, or a king. Key cards for the Irishman. And a couple more outs here.
A 9.
Yeah, 9 would counterfeit Carrington's pair. He's praying, hands clasped for Fuengarola.
King, queen, jack, 9. 9 it is.
Oh gosh!
That hurt.
The hardest way to lose. And
Yeah.
wow.
This is a good lesson for all you out there.
57.
The small pairs just isn't that good, and this is one of the reasons why they're not good.
No.
Not usual that eights would be called a small pair, but in this case, they are.
Would you like to jet off to Las Vegas to play poker at the Bellagio, shop at Caesar's Palace, and overlook the city from the stratosphere? You could win a holiday to this amazing city, including flights and accommodations for two, and £500 spending money. All you have to do is answer this question. Who won the World Series of Poker in 2006? A. Phil Hellmuth, B. Jamie Gold, or C. Gus Hansen? You can enter by going to www.5.tv/poker. Entrance must be over 18. Competition closes at midnight on the 22nd of May.
And this is going to be unfair if Smith starts to get hit with the deck here and pick up some hands.
Church 5.
I would say nobody has any chance at all.
No, then it's gonna be over soon.
Fact is,
Pass.
Ken, that the fact that this game is still five-handed really suits the chip leader, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Oh, look at this. I mean, how lucky can a guy be?
Where is all in?
This is
Call.
ridiculous. He only plays kings, kings, ace queen, ace king, ace king.
He's gotten them often enough to justify that strategy.
Yeah. Anybody else would, you know, have no chips left, but he just keeps the right cards at the right time.
The machine feeling a bit aggrieved. Ace queen suited, not the best hand.
But supposed to be a great hand, 5-handed. 2 spades, still alive.
Yeah, it is Blake all in. There's 125,000 in this pot. If the spade comes, it's going to be goodbye for Blake. I would say the rest of the table is rooting for Blake here, Ken.
Absolutely. Usually you root for a guy to get knocked out, but not Blake. They want him in. And they don't want the machine to have the chips.
The horseshoe, is it lucky? Sit on it! Here's the river.
Spades.
That's straight through the heart, Tim Blake. Well, he always got his money in good spots, Ken. But to no avail for Tim Blake. Look at that hand once more. Ace-king strong over ace-queen before the flop, but the spades have dug a big hole for the rest of the table and made a flush for Graham Smith. And there's some pretty unhappy customers, but none of them live in Graham Smith's house. Graham Smith right now with half the chips in play. Bridge North's favorite publican, Graham Smith, has come a long way since the first time he played poker on TV. He's a player now, and the machine recently became a father for the first time. Little Billy watching there from the green room with Mom Kelly. You know, they're behind Daddy all the way. You know, they say sportsmen show a dramatic increase in form after the birth of their first son, and Graham is really showing the A-game tonight.
Pass. Where's the 30?
No one likes their stack to get too short, but sometimes you can't help it. What's Scullion going to do here?
Tricky, tricky. I think there's nothing more with folding there.
Pass.
20,000 on Liam. And
All in.
I think he said all in.
Yeah, he did. He's playing the player.
Well, Liam's right in, I would imagine, estimating that Smith would have raised from this position with nearly any hand. But King-Queen right now looks like the nuts.
Yeah, it's never fun to call King-Queen because you're not a favorite over a weak ace, which is a pretty common hand for Liam Flood in this position, but
it's a pretty good raise. I mean, the only way Smith can call here is if he puts Liam on a bluff. Or no.
I mean, yeah. But then again, if Liam has pocket jacks, he still get a 50-50 chance. King-Queen is pretty powerful four-handed. And look at that face. Do you trust him? Would you, Jesse?
I think he's insane, Flood, right here. But I fancy he's going to get away with it. Smith has made some disciplined folds already tonight to re-raises, and he knows that Flood has come over the top of him with some pretty big hands already.
Liam has gotten the better of it twice before against Smith, taking a lot of chips of Smith. Will this be the third time?
1-1-3.
1-1-3.
Ken, is there any indication that Smith can get from the fact that Flood went all in? If he had a huge hand, would he maybe have raised smaller?
No, I don't think so. I think from all the way from aces down to 6-3 or clubs, he would have moved all in. Well, I didn't know that he would move all in with 6-3 or clubs, but I know now. The question is, what's the machine thinking? Does it feel that Flood has a legit hand, or does it feel like you want to gamble? There's a lot of thoughts going through the machine's head right now. Lays it down.
Wow!
Pass.
And it's easily, in my mind, that was the biggest decision and hand of the tournament so far.
Yeah, this was huge for Liam. He's back in the saddle, trailing Graham Smith. We got game now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna make a big bluff, you better know the guy's gonna fold. And let's hear Phil Hellmuth's take on bluffing.
So you want to make a big bluff? It's not just betting every single hand. It's not just recklessness that creates a bluff. What creates a great bluff is setting it up. And table image has something to do with that. So you wait, you play a good patient game, you wait until the time is right, until your opponents are weak, and then you make that great bluff. But you don't give it away, you don't start talking, you don't do anything differently than when you bet your strong hands. You want to put in the chips the same way you did the last time your opponent saw you with a strong hand. You want to make the same comments, you want to put your head in your hands the same way, make sure everything matches, because when you act the same way you did with a strong hand, the instincts of the other players say he has a strong hand. A bluff takes timing.
Line's about to hit 7 and 15,000, Ken. And Smith back up to 50% of the chips in play.
Yeah, he looks strong. Carrington, he needs to play 1 or 3 hands, and you know, he doesn't need much.
You can find out more about poker by logging onto our website, www.5.tv/poker. Learn the rules, figure out what the best hands are to play, and test your bluffing skills.
45,000 total.
If the machine finds a hand here, he's in trouble, that's for sure.
I would have to imagine anybody's in trouble.
All in.
It's the right move from Carrington. He has to play this hand.
Does he? Even
Yes.
though he's getting his chips in calling?
30
Yeah.
pass.
He doesn't have enough to get them in any other way, does he?
No, he's got 2 more hands to play.
Pass.
Well, Carrington all in
That's okay.
and trailing. 1 ace down.
Steady on there.
Carrington is actually getting 2-1 here with the small and the big blind.
Well, he's in.
30, another 10
The
there,
best news for Carrington right now is only paid 35 euros for his seat. Satellite at the Aces Club in Fuengirola, and I imagine they're all rooting for him now, but it's looking dire, desperate, and dead right now. Spencer Carrington. Prayer probably his best option here.
Yes, you're right about that.
Hello.
6 for a straight.
The turn always makes things more interesting.
Yes, always.
Any 6, any ace.
And no
And,
queen.
yeah. The shame of ignominy. Spencer Carrington out in 4th. Only 3 remain, but is Scullion an afterthought here?
No, he needs to double up once, obviously, but if he does, he's definitely a contender.
Button play here for Smith. And the fact that Scullion is short, is that going to influence Smith's decision here?
It should. I think he should pass here. I think he is passing.
I think I know what they're laughing at.
You're
Smith
like a
says,
rose between 2 flaws.
you know I like to steal.
Yeah.
All
I
in.
mean, it is a bit, you know,
Raised all in.
I mean, they've been completely shameless, both Flood and Smith all night long.
Scullion does the right thing going all in. I think it's a mandatory call here for Liam. Scullion should have moved in when he was on the button. If he would have done that, he would have more chips, and then Liam Flood probably wouldn't have called in this
52,000
situation.
more if you wish to call.
Consequences of the actions from before. And I do believe you're right, Ken, that it is kind of like he said, she said, but if the because had been different, the after effect would be as well.
Hallelujah. You're so wise, Jesse. Oh, actually, that was me. I'm
That was-
so
I'm
wise.
just restating what
Oh,
you
yeah,
said.
okay. Good. Then everything is back in order.
Is there any argument for folding here?
Yeah, your favorite argument. You don't want to feed the bear. But I mean, you know, Scullion's moving with all kinds of hands. Queen Jack, you can be the favorite, but if you're not, you still have a good chance. And as it happens, he's a strong favorite.
Yeah, he's dominating. So this is the best possible result for Liam, and the worst possible start here for Scullion, who is desperate for a siete, as they say Spanish ways. 23%. Feels like less, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Scullion all in. And we are 2 cards away from a dream heads up since hand number 1, although if you're from the Winners Club near Belfast Way, 7s are on your mind. I'm sure they're all rooting for him down there. And the Jack is now going to play no matter what, Ken.
Yep. It's over.
By the pip of a chin, Paul Scullion.
He played a good game. He didn't get any chars, but he did the best he could. He'll be back for another day.
No, it happens. And then there was 2.
Oh, they're truly enjoying this moment.
They are. I'll tell you what, you don't often get what you ask for, deserve, or wish. But I think when this heat started, both Graham Smith and Liam Flood looked down the other's craw and said, "I'm after you, mister."
With 2 of the most aggressive players going heads up, they battle it out for a slice of a $360,000 prize pool. Who will throw the first punch and secure their seat in the semifinal? Find out after the break.
Heads up, 1-on-1. And even though Liam Flood from Dublin, Ireland may have a bit of momentum and the chip lead,
The red light's on,
the machine has brought his A game tonight, has Graham Smith. How do you handicap it, Ken?
Liam's got a little bit more chips. That's a factor. Graham has played very good. That's a factor. Liam has gotten the better of Graham a few key pots and actually has won most of his chips from machine, and I think that's the biggest factor.
Looking at the stats, Smith was nearly an afterthought, down to about 58,000. Liam Flood has never been below his starting stack. Not much more in it besides that, stat-wise.
No, this is more about getting into each other's heads, and Liam has gotten the best of it again and again. So, well, he looks like the favorite here, but I'm telling you one thing, the machine never gives up.
Flood has picked up about 30,000. It's only 2 big blinds since it started. But it does mean that he can play an all-in pot and still have 100,000 left.
Yeah. Plenty enough to make a recovery. Oh, look at this, something's happening.
Now, the raise is 35,000 more. And the machine we've seen all day has the ability to come over the top here, Ken. But I just fancy he's going to fold right now.
You might be right, Jesse.
Is it kind of an obvious fold, though?
No, I don't think so. I think the way it has been going heads up, you need to change the momentum, and going all in here is, something to, change the flow of the game.
That is not going to change the flow of this game.
No. Calling is reasonable, but I don't like this here because King 4 is a very hard hand to play unless you hit a king, and it's not easy to hit a king, and he might get robbed of this pot on the flop.
Will the machine fire if he misses?
Oh, he hit it. Look at this. Wow. Liam hit middle pair. This was the break the machine needed, and this gonna cost money for the gentleman.
Well, I think all the money's going in.
It is.
And is Smith
raised? All in.
He's going all in. I think he's going to get called. This is deceiving, isn't it?
Yes.
It looks weak.
It looks very weak. This is a very advanced and good play by the machine. I really like this play. Because there's a chance that Liam Flood would call with an ace here. Or a small pair. And now he has middle pair, so I don't see any way that the gentleman can fold this one. He has to call, I think. You really have to call this, Liam. There's no way out.
Look how Liam's body language has changed.
199.
Doesn't like it one bit.
This is not the way he wanted it to go. If you're feeling like in the Cincinnati Kid, Lancey Howard said it's all about making the wrong move at the right time, and I think that's what Smith has done.
Oh, he wants to call so fast.
199.
199. Is it?
They're in full stacks. That's 180, 199. Yeah.
Call.
Yep, there's the call.
Liam has
Oh.
called. He's realized that he will still have 100,000 left if he loses this pot, and that may have been the factor that decided it. Ooh, says Liam. He's trailing. The machine could end it here. Well, he can't, actually.
No, Liam can end it with a 9 or a queen.
498,000.
Oh, there's the queen.
Oh, my Lord. And Graham Smith is reeling. It's all over. Flood's going through unless a king or 4 hits the river. Or a deuce. King 4, deuce. 8 cards in the deck for Graham Smith.
Oh,
Tell
it's
you
over.
what, you always get lucky at the end. At the very end. Liam Flood.
Applauding the dealer. I don't blame him.
And, wow, Graham Smith just in shock. He's stunned, and you can't blame him. He found a way.
He played great. He had a down period, but he pulled himself together and played great, but just wasn't his day.
Stunning turn of events. Flood stuck his head in the toilet and came up smelling like a rose. Well, Liam, not known for being lucky with the ladies, hit the queen on the turn after the money went in, and queens up, 2 pairs beating 1, and taking the Irishman flooding through to the semifinals.
There's still more action to come and big-time players all competing to fill the 2 remaining seats in the semifinal. Join us next time for more of this. The PartyPoker.com European Open 3.